April the 19th, 2023. Tonight, Wednesday night, Whack an Atheist, where we wear red, just to antagonize the bull. Tonight, Daniel Dennet. Never whacked him before. This is going to be fun, okay? We're at the place where God gets the glory for his amazing creation. Go to see us on Rumble, Kent Hovind Official, on YouTube, Genesis Baptist Church, or Doc Dino, a couple channels there. On Odyssey, we have a channel. Go to drdino.com. They're all listed there as far as where you can find us to watch our stuff. If you have any of our old videos, I'll talk about that in a minute. We need some help, okay? We had debate number 323 a couple of weeks ago. Tonight is the 19th. And let's see, World Penguin Day coming up next Tuesday. Wow. Who'd have thunk it? Let's see. I've now had 324 debates with atheists. We only have, let me get all this passed here. Okay. Right here. We only have 20 available on DVD from, 40 years ago. If you have recorded any of my debates, any of them, please send them. Is that the right address for you guys? tech@drdino? Is that what you get? Is that your email? What's your email? I can't hear you. What's your email? Eddie, how do people get the video to you?
They can leave it in the comments. Leave a link to it in the comments.
Leave a link to it in the comments. Okay. We're going to try to get them all on DVD. All 325. Hopefully get 500 before I die. All right. So do that, please. Or call secretary@drdino.com. I also did a series of YouTube many years ago, 7 years ago, about God's amazing animals, A to Z. We temporarily have lost all that with the YouTube shutting our channel down. So if you have any of those, send them to the tech team or call 855-BIG-DINO extension 1. That'll be the secretary. Bobby, what's your extension? 4. You're 5. Don't do them to 3. That's me. I want to. Okay. Let's see. Then May, a bunch of stuff going on. And is it your birthday in May?
No, it's Norwegian Independence Day.
Norwegian Independence Day. Yeah, that's right. Board in the store to Tilly Dog. Okay. Let's see. Then June, we got our boot camp coming up. Be sure to come for that if you can. Help us grow and subscribe to our channel and all that kind of stuff. Hit the like button. Visitors from all over the place. We have the real tour. I love the giving that today. That family had a blast. We have the Science Center tour, the farm tour, the playground set, the record tour. The Bible says in 6 days, God made everything. Dinosaurs lived with man. Stop lying to the kids, telling them they lived millions of years ago. No, they did not. They lived with Adam and Eve in the garden. We believe evolution theory is actually the dumbest and most dangerous religious cult in the history of the world. It's a mental illness when a grown person believes they came from a rock, which came from a dot of nothing exploding. We're here to help, okay? The fool said in his heart, there's no God. Come visit DAL, 262 baptized now in our lake. Come on down. If you want to help us win souls, please do. You got a better place to invest your money? If so, do it there. If not, do it here. Help us to open for free. Go to 777 Club on drdino.com. So I want to give $1 a day, $31 a month if you can. Let's see. Making checks to CSE. Our seminar series is, I think, approaching 15 million now we've put out in 42 languages. If you want to get those. Our Woe series, What on Earth is About to Happen, for heaven's sake. Come visit our Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is great down here. Visitors coming from all over the place. Tonight, Whack an Atheist Wednesday with Dr. Kent, the science gent. They don't like I earned 3 earned and 1 honorary doctorate degree because they didn't get it from their education mill, which teaches you came from a rock. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Tons of fun. It's all free. Dinosaur Adventureland, straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, right off I-65 in the itty-bitty town of Lenox. I've been a Baptist preacher 49 years now, and we're a Bible-believing Baptist church camp and creation ministry, and we will take on all the atheists anytime. Bring it on, okay? Tonight, Whack an Atheist, where we get our SpongeBob and the hammer. We're going to hammer. Oh, yeah. We're going to use real science to try to knock some sense into you guys who believe you came from a rock. We're here to help. Relax. It's a game like whack-a-mole. Nobody's hurt. No atheists are hurt. Okay? And we're trying to wake you up before it is too late. That's all. Even children can learn how to do it. So the winner tonight is Daniel Dennet. 81 years old. Daniel Dennet said, the evidence for evolution pours in, not only from geology, paleontology, biogeography, and anatomy, but of course from molecular biology and every other branch of the life sciences. Daniel, you are certifiably insane. There is no evidence for evolution. None at all. I challenge you to have a full-time debate anytime. You pick the time. Evidence pours in, right? Daniel Dennet, born 1942, an American philosopher, a writer and cognitive scientist whose research centers on the philosophy of mind, philosophy of science, and philosophy of biology. University professor at Tufts University, he directs the Center for Cognitive Study. He encourages people to do the right thing rather than worrying about it. Well, Daniel, if evolution is true, how do you tell the right thing? Bible says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy. He's a teacher of philosophy. Phileo means love of. Sophie means man's wisdom. The love of man's wisdom, yeah. I've asked atheists all over the world, simple question. If evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong? Where's your measuring stick? How do you tell right from wrong? We've got a whole Bureau of Standards in Washington, D.C. to keep track of the official quart, the official gallon, the official inch. You got to guard it, okay? The weights and measures, you got to have it, okay? Simple question. If you had a peaceful neighbor who simply hung out with friends all day and spent all his time working in his own yard, would it be wrong to violently steal that neighbor's baby and kill it and eat it? Daniel, would that be wrong? The lions do it every day, don't they? Steal the neighbor's baby and eat it. Daniel Dennet, Darwin's dangerous idea. Grandmother fish. He writes books for children to be taught evolution. Oh, your grandma was a fish, yeah. Breaking the spell, science and religion, consciousness explained. The one thing that I think is really dangerous in many religions is it gives people a gold-plated excuse to stop thinking. That's what evolution does, Daniel. You have stopped thinking. You believe you came from a rock and it's all settled. There's simply no polite way to tell people they've dedicated their lives to an illusion. Well, Daniel, that's you, okay? And I'm going to try politely to tell you, you've devoted your life to an illusion. Those who fear the facts will forever try to discredit the fact finders. Yep, and you and all you atheists fear the facts, don't you? The fact is, this hammer had to have a designer. There's no way. This piece of paper laminated with text on it had to have a designer. And the human body is 1 trillion times more complicated than that. There's a designer. That's the facts, okay? The kindly God, who lovingly fashioned each and every one of us and sprinkled the sky with shining stars for our delight, that God is, like Santa Claus, a myth of childhood. Not anything a sane, undiluted adult would literally believe in. That God must either be turned into a symbol for something less concrete or abandoned altogether. That's what he thinks now. He's 81. You don't have much time, Daniel. You better make sure you want to face God with that. I think many people are terribly afraid of being demoted by the Darwinian scheme from the role of authors and creators in their own right into being just places where things happen in the universe. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy. He said religions have depended on the relative isolation and ignorance of their flocks forever. And this is all breaking down. Oh, yeah. Everybody's now getting smart enough to believe there's no God, aren't they, Daniel? Yeah. The fool said, hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. Seest thou man wise in his own conceit? I saw one a minute ago with your picture, Daniel. There's more hope of a fool than of him, Solomon said. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. He did a short video on the origin of genius, how human consciousness evolved. Humans weren't made by intelligent design. We evolved into intelligent designers, capital D. Wow, so we get to be God. Isn't that the same lie Satan used with Eve in the Garden of Eden? Eve, do what I say, honey, and you get to be God. Oh, yeah, same lie. Bible says, the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all unrighteousness. We're talking about Daniel's video here for a second. Let's see right here. See if I got the audio right.
In an entirely natural world without any supernatural mysteries, you can explain the mind, the human mind, consciousness. It's been my project for 50 years. And what I've come to realize is that the only way to do it right is you have to take evolution a lot more seriously.
Okay, Daniel, I'd like you to define exactly what you mean by evolution, because I cover very clearly there are 6 different levels or meanings or stages of that word. Cosmic evolution, the origin of time, space, matter from nothing. You may take that seriously. Chemical evolution, organic evolution, macroevolution, all those kind of things. Number 6, variation within the same kind. That I take seriously. Well, there's a lot of variations. We now have 167 varieties of ducks. Probably had a common ancestor, a frog. No, you guys put them on a chart with all of them connected with lines to a common ancestor. The ducks had a common ancestor, Daniel, and that's as far as it goes. Take evolution seriously. What exactly do you mean by that? Okay.
And really look hard at the question of how evolution could have gotten these wonderful projects up and running.
You're asking the wrong question. Come on, you're a philosopher. How did evolution do it? Doesn't that have a built-in assumption in the question that evolution did it? Why don't you instead ask the question, did evolution do it? It's like me asking the question, why are elephants orange? Come on, tell me. Why are elephants orange? They're not orange. What do you mean? How evolution could have gotten these projects up and running? No. Did evolution do it? And the answer is no. You're stopped right there. But you want to bypass that because it's embarrassing because there's no evidence for evolution. None. Sorry. Okay.
That have now led to people like you and me and all the great artistic geniuses and scientific geniuses, the real intelligent designers that now inhabit the planet, instead of the imaginary intelligent designer who never existed.
Can you imagine facing God and having to answer for that? I don't know how to help you, Daniel, but I'm going to try. I may not be able to help you, but I'm going to help some of the people who are dumb enough to follow your teaching, okay?
For millennia, people had it in mind that all the wonderful things they saw in the world, all the beautiful design of the animals and plants and living things, must be due to a fabulously intelligent designer.
So for thousands of years, people believe that, and now you come along and you're smarter than everybody that ever lived. Whoa, yes, sir, Massa. Don't beat me, Massa. Please, don't be good. Okay, let's go here.
The creator. And so it was until Darwin came along and turned that upside down and realized that, in principle, there could be a process with no intelligence, no comprehension, no foresight, no purpose, that would just inexorably grind out algorithmically better and better and better designs of all sorts.
Better and better designs. Now, doesn't that kind of imply a designer? Yeah. And no purpose. So evolution is going to grind out these better designs for no reason. Yeah, all happened by over billions of years. Can't believe people paid to have you teach that junk to people. Okay, let's see. Right here.
And create the living world where there had been just lifeless matter before.
So it came from lifeless matter to living creatures. Daniel, would you please explain scientifically, show me the scientific evidence how that happened? We can't even make that happen in the laboratory. And yet you think it happened by chance, but nobody made it happen. Oh, I see.
And this was a shocking idea to many people. Even to Darwin, in some regards, it was shocking. But he was right.
No, he was not. You just making that statement does not make it true. Darwin was wrong, and you are wrong. You just say, well, he was right. Go on from, no, don't go on from there. Stop. Darwin was wrong, dead wrong.
He had the essentials right, and now, 150 years later, there's just no question about it.
I have a question about it. I don't believe it at all. And most Americans don't believe it at all. Most people with a brain don't believe that dumb religion. So in your mind, he was right. There's no question about it. Your students face this kind of stuff from you and say, well, teacher believes it, so it must be true. This is brainwashing 101 is what it is. You should know that. You're a philosopher. You're brainwashing your students. That's not education. Did it happen? No. You say, well, we know what happened. No, you don't. Stop.
He was right.
He was right.
And we're filling in the details at a breathtaking pace.
Let me translate that. Darwin was just don't know how yet. They were filling in the details. Yeah, okay.
So that was the first great inversion, the strange inversion of reasoning. And it's much abetted in recent years by what I call Alan Turing's strange inversion of reasoning. When Turing came along, computers were people. That was a job. What do you do for a living? I'm a computer. And these were human beings. Typically, they were math majors. And they were hired to compute various functions.
Right. You had to have people with a brain to do these kind of things, right? And now we got a machine to do it. Did the machine make itself? Or did some smart people make that machine?
Tables, logarithms, celestial navigation tables, and so forth. What Turing realized was you didn't have to be intelligent. You didn't have to comprehend. You could make a device which did all the things that the human computers were doing.
Nobody intelligent made the device. One screw in the computer had to have a designer. A simple screw to hold the case together. Every single piece was designed. How many things have to be right on a computer to make it work? A whole bunch. How many things can go wrong and make it not work? Any one of thousands of things, right? One mistake in one line of code. Come on, Daniel. You've got to be smarter than that. You really think nobody designed humans? Nobody designed computers? Nobody designed this world?
With all the intelligence and all the understanding laundered out of it, except for the most minimal sort of mechanical quasi-understanding, all it had to do was to be able to tell a 0 from a 1 or a hole in a punch tape from no hole in a punch tape.
All it tells is zeros and ones. Daniel, do you understand how computer codes work? See, boys and girls, this is nothing right here except ink on a piece of paper. No. It's arranged to produce words and a code and give a meaning. It's not just zeros and ones. It's zeros and ones by the billions in a particular order. And you just want to brush this off as, it's just a bunch of zeros and ones. Of course it could evolve. How on earth did you live so long and be that dumb?
A very simple discriminator, put it together with the right universal Turing machine, which can compute anything computable. And that was the birth of the computer. And the two strange inversions fit together beautifully. What they show, and this is still strange to people, is what I call competence without comprehension. We tend to think that the reason we send our children to university is so that they can acquire comprehension, which we view as the source of competence.
We send our kids to universities these days with professors like you to dumb them down to believe they came from a rock. Shame on you.
It's out of that web of comprehension that they acquire the competences they do. And we look down our noses at rote learning and drill and practice because that's just competence. We want comprehension. And what Turing and Darwin in very similar ways showed is, no, that's just backwards. Comprehension is an effect of multiple competences, not itself a source, an independent source of competence. So that's the second strange inversion. If we want to look at human minds, we have to add another source of evolutionary power.
You have to add a whole bunch of imagination. You really honestly believe, Daniel, the human mind was not designed? The human mind is way more complicated than any computer ever built by man. One cell in your body has 100 trillion atoms. And the average person has 100 trillion cells. Each 100 trillion. Each cell in your body, 100 trillion atoms. Nobody designed it to function like that. It came by evolutionary power. First of all, how do you believe this? And why would you teach that to anybody?
And that's cultural evolution. We don't get all our intelligence from our genes. In fact, relatively little, all things considered. And here's where Turing's ideas really come in handy, because if you take Richard Dawkins' idea of the meme as a unit of cultural evolution, and you take Turing's idea about a programmable computer, and you put them together, you get the idea of a meme as a thing made of information.
So not only does this machine produce information, somebody with a brain has to be able to read and understand the information. Doesn't do any good if the computer can spit out all kinds of data, but nobody can read it. And this, I honestly don't understand how any of you guys can be an atheist or an evolutionist. Do you not even know how to think for yourself? I would be willing to bet $5 this piece of plastic was designed to go on this pin. Wow. This is not designed to go on your car to drive around on, like wheels. No, no. Okay. This is not designed to be the engine of your car. This is designed for a particular purpose. You guys cannot see design anywhere, can you? I don't know if I can help. I'm going to try to help some of the people dumb enough to listen to you guys. Go ahead.
It's like an app which you download to your desktop.
Yeah, simple. Just download.
And it's a brain filled with apps is a mind, is a human mind. And if you don't download all the apps, you're not going to be able to think very well.
You didn't download them all, did you, Daniel? I'm sorry. You really honestly believe this junk that we're all evolved and nobody made the human mind. So you got a couple apps you missed, okay? Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. I'll show them to you. I'll help you get them in your head, okay?
And that's why no creature on the planet, however intelligent they are in some regards, they can't hold a candle to us because they can't download the apps of culture because they don't have a language. And
I think every animal has a language, Daniel, don't they? Don't they communicate with each other somehow? I mean, they don't have a language. Okay.
it's language, which is itself composed of memes. Words are memes. It's language that is the backbone of cultural evolution. And what it permits is for cultural evolution to become ever less Darwinian, ever more intelligent.
So the evolution becomes evolving. Yeah.
And now we're living in the age of intelligent design. We have scientists and engineers and artists and musicians and composers, all these wonderful
The age of intelligent design? Nobody designed the designer, though, did they?
designers of wonderful things, poems, bridges, airplanes, theories, and they are intelligent designers. But if you want to know how they managed to have that intelligence, you have to go back and look at their brains as ultimately like Turing machines.
So the human brain is nothing but a machine spitting out data. Hey, does the computer understand what it is saying? When I type something into my computer, does the computer care or know or understand what I'm... No, it doesn't know. It's a machine. The brain is way more than a machine. It's designed. Can you imagine sitting under this guy for a semester having to learn this stuff? This is only 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Oh, brother.
They're composed of actually trillions of moving parts that are all just as stupid as posts.
I agree. All the parts of an engine, none of the parts of an engine can run. They have to all work together. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Get all the pistons but no connecting rods. Oh, well, now what? Get all the pistons and rods and no fuel line. Yeah, no gasoline. I feel sorry for you. I really do, Daniel, and I want to help. You call 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3. I'll be glad to talk to you, and I won't tell anybody unless you tell me I can. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. You're getting close to the time where you're going to have to go talk to this God you don't believe in. I would suggest you get ready for that appointment.
They don't understand a thing. They don't have to understand a thing. You put them together in the right way and you get comprehension and eventually consciousness.
I feel bad that you believe such a thing. No. I'll try to help. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them. For God has showed it unto them. You know full well, you did know at one time there's a God. You might have convinced yourself for maybe a paycheck that there's no God. You'll find out. God showed it. The invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so they are without excuse. No excuse, Daniel. There would be no excuse for somebody to say, nobody designed this piece of plastic here. Nobody. Anybody think you're a fool? It's designed to go on the pen cap. I think you'd be a fool to not believe somebody intelligent designed that. Now, the piece of plastic is not intelligent, but the guy who put it together correctly is. You're going to be without excuse, Daniel. I'm here to help. I'm the best friend you got, and you don't even know it. When they knew God, they glorified him not as God. Put your name in there, Daniel, Romans chapter 1. Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That's you, Daniel. There's simply no polite way to tell people they've dedicated their lives to an illusion. Daniel, I'll debate you and any other evolutionist you wish on your team anytime. You go first, give me the best evidence for evolution. I am telling you, as politely as I know how, you have devoted your life to an illusion. Charlie Darwin said, often a cold shudder has run through me as I asked myself whether I may have not devoted myself to a fantasy. You did, Charlie. You devoted yourself to a complete fantasy. Evolution is baloney. It didn't happen. Doesn't happen. There's simply no way to tell a person they've dedicated their life to an illusion. Daniel, you've devoted your life to a fantasy. Sorry. Give me a call, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. I'll debate you on any channel, anywhere. Bring it on, anytime. Okay, any questions or comments from here? All right, thank you so much. Another Whacking Atheist in the books. See you later. Bye.